All right. Good afternoon, everyone. Hope you're all having an amazing Wednesday. On behalf of Trellence, we would like to welcome you all to this webinar titled Meeting Changing Member Expectations with Data Insights. During this session, we'll review how technology advancements have impacted member expectations, explore what conveniences members expect from their modern financial institutions, and define the role of data in helping credit unions meet and exceed member expectations. Today, we have with us Mandy Zerbrick, Trellence's Director of Strategic Consulting Member Experience, as well as her co-host, Amanda Emery, our client ambassador here at Trellence. But before we jump in, I would like to go through a few housekeeping items. First, this webinar is being recorded, and it will be made available to all after the session concludes. Second, due to the large attendance, the phone lines have been muted. Lastly, we want to hear from you. There will be a Q&A at the end of this webinar. If you think of any questions during the duration of this webinar, please feel free to type them in the Q&A box and we will do our best to answer. If you have a question that does not get answered by the end of the webinar, please send our team an email at mzerbrick@trellence.com and we will get back to you in a timely manner. You can also answer yes to this poll and on the screen right now. And one of our team members will reach out to you soon after the webinar concludes to discuss the topics within this session. Thank you again for you all being here at this webinar. Without further delay, here's Mandy and Amanda.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Sanjeev, for the intro. Well, welcome. Thank you all for joining us today. We're going to start by going through the agenda items for today. We're going to talk about how you can understand your changing member expectations. Obviously, so much has changed in technology, in consumer behavior, in the past, not only 5 to 10 years, but 1 to 2 years, right? And sometimes it can be hard to keep up. So we'll be discussing that topic. We'll discuss the role of data in how you can meet those member expectations and how Trellence can help you with your data analytics journey. But first, we are going to go through a poll question. So it will pop up on your screen in just a moment. Please take a moment or two to answer those questions. So the poll is, has your credit union adjusted its strategies in the past year to better align with evolving member expectations? And are you utilizing data insights to help facilitate it? We'll receive the answers to those, and I'm sure we'll have a lot of positive responses. So how does data help you meet your member expectations? Mandy, can you talk to us about that?
Yes, I can. So technology has definitely raised member expectations in the past, and it's continuing to do so today. So let's dive in. Okay, so before we talk about what today's members expecting from their credit union, let's take it back a bit, talk about the significant transformations that the financial services industry has undergone. And it's really changed the way that we all bank. There's been so many big changes, and I'm definitely going to date myself to talk about these, but that's okay. If there's any young people listening, just bear with me because I was born in the 1900s. So let's think back. ATMs allowed us to get cash 24/7. Before that, we literally had to go to the bank Monday through Friday and just guess on the amount of cash we needed. We now have direct deposit, meaning we don't have to cash our payroll checks like we did before. We moved from checks to debit cards, and we started using person-to-person payments. Those were all great changes, but there's 3 that really changed the industry in a big way. And first is that online banking revolution. So that shift from branch-only banking to online platforms in the early 2000s was really a pivotal moment. So members demanded convenience and that access that really drove that widespread adoption of online account management. And then soon after that, the rise of the mobile banking apps that follow that online banking, right? That raised the bar even higher for accessibility. Members already had their phones in their hand all the time, and they really embraced that ability to check balances, transfer funds, and pay bills from their smartphones. And that prompted credit unions to prioritize mobile-first strategies. And then lastly, the 24/7 service expectations, right? The rise of the AI-powered chatbots and virtual assistants address the need for members around-the-clock support. So it really proved that adapting to new technology can also significantly enhance their service quality as well. So the milestones highlight the speed at which member expectations evolve and the importance, of course, of staying agile enough to respond to them. But I also brought these up to remind you that we can do this, right? At one time, all of these seemed so technical and perhaps a bit out of reach, but we got there. So we've done it before and we can do it again. Okay, so today's members' expectations, first and foremost, personalization. Members want financial advice and product offerings tailored to them, their life stages, their goals, their preferences. Think of it as a market of one. Targeted communication, special offers, customized experiences just for that one member. That one-size-fits-all approach just no longer resonates. I came across a stat that said 74% of consumers across all generations want more personalized experiences from their financial institutions. And I love the fact that members want personalization because it's great for credit unions too. It can lead to a 10 to 30% increase in revenue and retention. And I know every credit union on this call would love to see that. Personalization can really help build that bridge and connecting to your members in this digital first world. It just ramps up that member engagement and opens up more opportunities for cross-selling, and that's going to lead to higher retention rates. So really by demonstrating to the members that you know where they're at in their financial journey, they're going to feel valued and stick around longer. So credit unions are going to keep more of their valuable members around for longer periods of time. And the next member expectation I want to focus on is an integrated experience. So we've talked about this for a while in the industry, that seamless, intuitive banking experience that goes across all channels, from mobile apps, online banking, physical branches, and call centers. Members really expect convenience and an overall exceptional experience. And 78% of banked Americans prefer to conduct their banking digitally. So we know that the online banking and mobile apps are so important. We have to be able to compete with the big banks and the fintechs that are out there. But we also can't neglect that branch or the call center experience. Recent reports said that many consumers still value that face-to-face interactions for certain activities. 65% of Gen Z respondents said that they prefer to open a new account in person compared to 58% for older generations, which kind of surprised me just a little bit. I don't know about you guys. And lastly, this is my favorite, proactive engagement. So 80% of credit union members desire more personally tailored financial advice. Now, we know all too well that financial education is not where it needs to be. So it's really no wonder that our members are looking towards the experts, their credit union, to let them know what they should be doing in their financial journey. Members just value companies that are going to anticipate their needs. So for instance, suggesting a smarter savings product for the member that allows them to earn more money, it's just demonstrating to them that the credit union cares about them as a member. And we recently partnered with a credit union on their credit line increase program. So we used data analytics, helped to identify those members who qualified, and the credit union provided a credit line increase to almost 30,000 members. They didn't ask for it, but they received a letter letting them know that thanks to their on-time payments, they were going to be rewarded with a credit line increase. And the credit union had a goal to increase balances by $10 million. And 90 days after the members were notified, there was a lift of more than 21 million actually. So that's over twice their goal. So this really demonstrated the members' need for additional credit and how proactively providing a solution is really a win-win for both the credit union and their members. It's just a perfect example of how leveraging analytics can drive significant growth at the same time as you can enhance member experience. Now I'm going to turn it over to Amanda, who's going to talk about the role that data plays in meeting these expectations.
Thank you, Mandy. Wow, those campaign results really speak for themselves.
Yes, they do.
In a really, really quick time frame, right? So right, how does data and how do data tools help you meet your member expectations? Data analytics tools can help you analyze member behavior, member patterns, and preferences. My background is in member experience, and I led a call center for a lot of years. And if you know, your member-facing employees know a lot about your membership, and they know a lot about their patterns and behavior because they're hearing it every day, day in and day out. But without a tool to help them illustrate trends, without a way for them to show the strategic decision makers at your credit union, hey, this idea might really help make the members' lives easier, or make their processes more efficient, or help them be happier with us. It's all tribal knowledge. It's really hard to quantify what results you might be able to gain by changing a process or changing the way that one of your accounts operates. So helping your member-facing employees have data in their hands. We have credit unions that have 30 plus users in our reports on a day-to-day basis. And that's changed significantly in the last 2 years. Giving more people information about what we can do better for your membership will make a big difference and help people to make suggestions and make the experience better for the member that they're sitting in front of. One example of a tool that from my past, I recall it was very challenging to analyze member spending behavior because transaction narration information is so disparate, it's so jumbled. You even see it in your own personal account sometimes. You can't even tell what merchant you spent $50 at. And so you dispute it and it becomes a whole process, right? We have transaction cleansing models today can help you categorize and analyze that information right at your fingertips. So this is just one example of how having additional data about the member trends can help make their experience better through personalization. Interactive dashboards provide credit unions a comprehensive review of your members' activities. And by monitoring those trends and anomalies, your credit union can quickly identify any opportunities or any areas of concern that you might be able to get ahead of. As mentioned, the behavior of our customers here at Trellance has drastically changed just over the last 2 years. From last January to this January, we saw an increase of report access per month of 74%. So we're seeing a lot more of you, a lot of you on this call, thank you, accessing these dashboards, taking a look at what your trends are on a day-to-day basis. And that's a really powerful thing to get into not only the decision makers' hands, but managers who can help their employees with trends that they're seeing, making sure that each person knows how they can impact the member experience by looking at the numbers can make a huge difference. The mindset of a centralized data control by a technology team or a BI team still works in certain ways to have data governance policies and a strong strategy, right? And making sure you have quality data, but then getting that information into your member-facing employees' hands helps you bring you into the future of analytic ability. Data democratization is alive within the credit union industry, and we're happy to help you understand that if you'd like to hear more from us. Predictive analytics, as we all know, AI capabilities are expanding at a rapid pace, and we will not let credit unions fall behind. These tools are accessible to you. Unfortunately, at this time, predictive analytics is only utilized by 12% of credit unions compared to 80% of banks. And we can change that. That's, these tools are accessible. They are easy to use. What they'll be able to allow you to do is give a member an offer anticipating their needs exactly at the time they need that product or service. just imagine a seamless experience where you're offering a credit card to a member who just realized that they're going to overdraft this month and they're not able to purchase what they need at the end of the month, but they can qualify for it because they have, the proper stats behind them. If you can bring those real-time offers personalized to your membership in the way that we need them, they will appreciate you, and they will never forget that experience. That'll increase your loyalty. And we're not that far from that reality. We have experts that can help kind of put the tools together and show you how you can achieve campaign offers like that. Behavioral segmentation is also a very interesting concept. So we always have to be mindful of what your brand recognition is with your broader membership, but also, are you meeting the member for who they are and what they need? There is a totally different set of needs between your millennial and Gen Z, population and the older millennials and baby boomer population, right? And so that's, it is reality. You want to make sure you're remaining relevant for all of the different segments of members that you have. We have a credit union that's working on a campaign powered by our member segmentation model, which is a predictive model, that's going to help them target the product or service that each of those segment needs and create recommendations that are more personalized for that category. And then they're also able to analyze how they did, right? So they're going to be able to look at each of those member segments, see if the campaign activities were more or less successful, whether it's within a certain age population, whether it's regionally, whether it's in a particular channel versus another, and be able to tweak those actions for next time. So having that real-time analysis, as Mandy mentioned, knowing and being able to reach and exceed your campaign targets within 90 days, and not only exceeding them, but knowing in real time that you did, right? It's sometimes hard. We wait for accounting reports, we wait for GL balancing at the end of the month to truly tell exactly how these things are going, but that's not the case anymore. Those reports are important as well, but you have the ability to measure the actions that your employees are taking and the change in member trends on a day-to-day basis. Marketing automation is another area that can really help you increase efficiency with your campaign lift. We have another credit union who has run some automation campaigns with us, and then again, analyzed the cost of that all in the same place. So they brought in their campaign spend, segmented it per action, whether it was a brand outreach campaign to exceed their, recognition in the region, or, they've run some media campaigns as well. They're able to see, okay, how much did each of these things cost? And what was the actual engagement lift per member of each one? And so that way they can tailor their strategy for next time. They can make changes to either make those campaigns a little bit less expensive or focus their dollars on where they're really giving them a lift within their member engagement. Mandy, do you have anything else to mention on marketing automation?
Yeah, just the fact that we have the credit unions I've talked to have been across the board. So we've talked to some that are really starting out newly in their marketing automation, as well as seasoned credit unions that have been doing this for a while and are expanding to a new marketing automation platform because they've outgrown the one that they're currently using. So, no matter where you are in your journey, that's okay. And if you want some help with that, we can help you along.
Thanks, Mandy. And in addition to the traditional types of structured data that you think of when you think of data analytics, of course, we're going to bring in all of your account information. We're going to give you all of the stats from your core, in addition to if you have a loan origination platform, a payments platform, et cetera. Yes, we will be able to help you with that. But also, there are ways to bring unstructured informational data within a data lake and analyze those, similar to the campaign spend I talked about. That one's a little bit more numeric and straightforward, but bringing in member feedback and member notes and member contact, details from your call centers or from chats really empowers you to analyze that in tandem with those member segments and their level of engagement. Who are you making happy and why? Is it because they're utilizing a channel that is performing better than some of the others that you have? Is your digital banking platform awesome? And, you're not sure that those are all the members that are happy and the rest, wish they had that type of experience, but don't know it exists. So bringing different types of data together in one place allows you to make connections that you wouldn't normally see just from the standard reports that, you may get from some other platforms that don't allow you to bring information together. We're going to talk next about, Mandy mentioned the term, your data journey. It is a journey. Wherever you are in that process, whether you're just thinking about the fact that you need a data management strategy, thinking about structuring your data and bringing it together, or again, if you've already been doing this for years but want to accelerate growth and want to accelerate your impact to the member experience with, predictive analytics, campaigns, we have experts that help support your needs. We call this our mini credit union here. We have areas of expertise with credit union experience. We are all more than happy to jump on a call with you and just brainstorm in any of these domain expertise areas. And what really becomes powerful is if you can get a group of team members together at your credit union who lead these various areas or who are the superstars within each of these teams to talk together about what challenges you have and what might help meet your needs. That's really where we've seen in the last 6 months to a year, many of our customers accelerate far beyond what their goals were in their data journey because they have a strong team of people that are working on it together. So that is one of the first steps that we recommend in your data analytics journey, and is to audit what you have. And we say audit your data, but it's not only the data that you have, it's the team that is responsible for it and those who you empower to use it today. Do you have representation from marketing, or do they have to request a report from their favorite IT person every time they want to see how they're doing? Do you have representation from operations? I am seeing more and more credit unions want their branch staff, branch managers, lead call center team members to have direct access to reports they can interact with and analyze. And that is a very powerful shift. If the more people that you can have looking at member behavior and trends and having that data at their fingertips, the better. So auditing really includes, do you have quality data? Do you have a data governance strategy today? Do you have a plan for what you want to do? And who do you have involved? And if you need support with recommendations on that, that's something that we do provide from an early start in your journey. Of course, setting clear goals for the journey is important. And those goals do not have to have 8 million campaigns that are run off of AI and automate responses for each one tailored to each specific person. It does not have to be boiling the ocean first. What I like to ask my customers when I meet with them for the first couple of times is, what strategic objectives or what goals are most important to your credit union right now within the next 3 to 6 months? Because if you start with one, take one bite at a time, understand where your goal is, how you can make an impact towards it, look at your data to understand what the key area of opportunity is, you can more quickly act upon a campaign at a time than you can 20, specific goals that you need to achieve within the next 2 years. In 2 years, the technology may have changed, right? And there may be other capabilities available or other expectations that members have of you, right? So set clear goals, but definitely understand that you can take them one step at a time. Many of you who work with us already have already invested in tools to help support you. Of course, it is possible to bring data together and create reports completely separate from, having a purchase tool for that. But we help supplement the work there. It is a lot of work to manage structured data, to keep everything with the right quality, to remediate those issues, and try to run your credit union at the same time. So invest in a tool that can help supplement that work, whether it's, just a data warehouse, starting getting your data all together all in the first step and adding upon it from there, or trying to, have all of the tools at your fingertips that you need. We're more than happy to help you with that. Building skills kind of circles back to the first step of auditing your data. So once you have all of the reports and tools necessary for success, you need people who can use them. And we make that as easy as possible. We set time with your entire team. It's meeting on a recurring basis, whether it's just you meeting and talking to each other and playing around with the reports and asking questions, or having us support you with our subject matter expertise in helping with that. The more time you spend, the more comfortable your team is with your data tools, the better. And we are more than welcoming of suggestions as well. So one of the things I love the most about working with credit unions on their specific strategic goals is they will come up with a piece of data to bring in that we may never have considered, or that's new, right? One that we have been working on the transaction cleansing model and enhancing that for a while. And we have a credit union recently that's wanting to see the difference between physical card use and tap to pay and Apple Pay, right? These are tools that, me as a consumer, I pull out my phone when I go to a restaurant now and expect that restaurant can take that phone for payment. But that is a whole different type of behavior than someone who uses cash still, or, pulls out their card every time. So all that to say, building your team to feel empowered to make suggestions to make these processes better, and so that they can understand your member behavior is the next step. And then, of course, over time, you'll want to monitor what you have and make tweaks to it. So as we mentioned, suggestions, things that you can do differently within your organization to help access to data and help them understand how that impacts your member experience. Making sure that you have recurring touch bases with those who use your tools and that they fully understand the impact of them to your members is a very important step to continue doing. All right.
All right. I'm going to take it away with some takeaways from the conversation that, if you remember these, this will help. The first one, obviously, we've been talking about it the whole time, is really to embrace data-driven decision-making. As Amanda mentioned, it involves more than just collecting data. It requires a comprehensive strategy and the ability to act upon it. Utilizing tools such as data analytics platforms and predictive models helps you identify trends, forecast member needs, and really make more informed decisions that will ultimately benefit both your organization as well as your members. And like we mentioned, don't stress about where you are in your journey, just move forward. And secondly, enhance omnichannel member experience. So convenience and consistency are what the member is looking for, and that's what's going to impact member satisfaction. And utilize your data to help you refine your platforms. Amanda talked about being able to bring in data from different sources rather than just looking at a survey, from one source. You can bring in the chats from member, from the call center, and the different surveys that you have, all to look at one channel. So use your data to refine your platforms, ensure that every interaction is smooth and intuitive, regardless of what channel the member's using.
And just to add to that as well, ensuring that your team who speak to members have understanding of that omni-channel experience is so crucial. As
True.
a member of a credit union, if I've already called yesterday about something, you've all experienced this in calling into call centers, right? And then I call back today and that person has no idea, or I've sent a chat, or I've emailed. So all of that is requiring a data management strategy. Having all of that information and those transactions and those actions in front of anyone who could interact with your member is the best way to make a positive experience rather than creating a negative one.
So true. And those enhanced experiences are going to help meet those member expectations, strengthen their loyalty to the credit union. And like we talked about before, it's just cascades, right? Cascades into that member retention. So important. And finally, partner with trusted experts like Trellens. So we know firsthand that navigating the complexities of this data analytics and implementation are challenging. But the good news is you don't have to do it alone. Partnering with experts in data analytics really helps accelerate your journey because we've been there, done that. And we can provide insights, tools, best practices, case studies to maximize the impact of your data initiatives. And we will help ensure that you stay ahead of the curve in meeting those member expectations and delivering that exceptional value to your members. Now, Amanda is going to wrap it up for us, and then we'll have some time for questions.
Yeah, thank you, Mandy, so much. So as we've said multiple times, no matter where you are within your data journey, we are here to help you. This is for the future of the credit union industry. We don't, as mentioned with predictive analytics, I do not want to see a world without credit unions that are as, impactful to the communities that you're in as you are today. So don't think of a data strategy as an unnecessary, scary and boring task. Think of it as setting you up for success to serve the membership of the future. We don't know what the capabilities of AI, et cetera, will be down the line. So make sure you're positioning yourself today to be up to speed with what exists now. And don't be afraid to ask for help. If if time is a sensitive resource, people are, short, you have other strategic objectives that you're working on, your employees are working on. Partners like Trellens are here to help make sure you can still set yourself up for success in meeting your member expectations into the future. All right. And in just not even 30 days, February is short, I don't know how many days, come see us at GAC. We will be there from March 2nd through 6th. We'll be at booth 339. I would love to chat with any of you who have time to stop by. It's a very, very fun event too. So I'm sure we'll see many of you there. And if you have any questions, our information, the three of us who are at GAC, Paulo, Nate, and myself, our information is listed here. So please feel free to reach out to us with any questions or to set time to discuss. All right. So we're going to open it up at this time for any questions that you have. I think there was one in the chat. So will the data help credit unions proactively anticipate member needs rather than react to them? Absolutely. So that is exactly what our predictive analytics tools and other AI-based tools will do. They learn on historical data and current member behavior, their account trends, their trend, the trends that they have in growth with your credit union, and tell you what, just as an example, what the next best product potential for that member is, what the next best action to take for that member is. So these are really powerful tools that if you use them and have them at your fingertips, you can be proactive instead of reactive for your membership.
Good question.
All right, thank you for that, Amanda. Now we do have another question coming in here at the Q&A box. What steps can credit unions take today to future-proof against evolving demands?
I can take that one. I would say first and foremost is keep doing what credit unions do best, and that's maintaining your focus on your member, right? When you do that, that helps drive your actions. We just talked about all of these things we did because of member expectations. So keeping your mind on the member is just naturally going to help draw you to those things that you need to do. I would also say being able to invest in scalable technology. So those things that are going to grow with you as you grow is so important. And then I would say those strategic partnerships you have. So are you collaborating with your partners that are innovative, that are going to take you along with them on that innovation journey? So I think those would help kind of future-proof what's coming our way. We know that we don't know what it is yet, but we know it'll be there, right?
One quick other comment on that is foster the employees within your organization that are forward thinking.
Oh yeah.
I think it's really easy to get into the mindset of, this group of people has known the most about our data forever and they own it, and then they're just going to continue owning it forever. Get new people involved, because the more people that you have that care about what data tools you have, how those impact your members, it will continue. If you only have one or two people that are doing this for you today, those one or two people will hopefully be able to win the lottery or retire or, move on to something else at some point in their lives. So just make sure you actually have an employee execution strategy as well as a member facing one.
Perfect. Thank you for that. And then we do have another one that just came in here as well. What metrics or member feedback tools should I be using to gauge how well I'm meeting expectations?
So Amanda talked about one of those earlier, surveys, and being able to have that regular feedback from a number of different collection points. And traditionally, when we think about surveys, it would only come from that member survey that you send out once a year and you get all that feedback and you just look at that. But there's so many different ways, right? There's social media, there's call center, there's branch interaction. So being able to bring those into one place, I think, is so important. And I would also say as well, looking at your analytics in terms of how your members are using your tools. So looking at the website, looking at online banking and the mobile app, how are they using it? Are they abandoning applications? Are they staying on web pages for a certain amount of time? So looking at all of that can give you an idea of how well you're doing. And then also just looking at member growth and retention. Are you bringing on more members that are leaving? How is your average age? Is that going down or going up? So kind of just looking at those basic member demographics would help as well.
All right, I'm not seeing any more questions come in. So if you guys are all good, we can go ahead and wrap up this webinar.